talk about doublespeak, or in this case, constructive psychiatrist doublespeak. Okay? Is it possible to completely tell the truth and have a society that runs perfectly? Well, you tell me after you hear this shit. Let's say this psychiatrist, Dr. George G. Ritchie III, has an aunt who's dying of cancer. And he does all the biopsies and all that, and he determines that she has 6 months to live. She asks him distressedly, "I'm going to die, ain't I? How long do I have to live?" He tells her, "That is not for me to know." Well, why does he put, he's like that is not mine to know. Okay, you know, if he tells the truth, sometimes the truth hurts, he'd have to tell her 6 months to live. But he tells her, a half-truth. You know, because really, in reality, he's not God. A miracle could happen, but the chances of that happening are slim to none. And he's counting on her, and that's what he's counting. He's counting on her to view it from the fact that he does not know, only God knows. Whenever boast not thyself with tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. So he tells her a little half-truth, half-white lie, whole lie. That is not for me to know. Psychiatrist doublespeak. Okay? Is he telling a lie? Is he sinning against the Lord, who says, "All liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone"? Okay, let's go to another area. He has a patient who's more down and out than I am. And he's telling this patient how he was taken by Jesus through 4 realms of life after death. He saw people on this earth who were spirits, who were no longer part of this earth but could not escape the hungers, the pride, the lust that kept them here. And he sees people in a heavenly city made of light, and the people are made of light too. Well, this patient says, "Oh, that's pretty, what difference does it make in life? Other than that, it's pretty nice having an inside track to God." An inside track, he writes, "Do I detect the note of envy? Did I detect the note of envy? If so, I had failed to get across the essence of this experience." So he's going to use some psychiatrist doublespeak on his ass. He reminds him, if I saw heaven at all, what I saw was only from the doorway, so to speak. If I saw heaven at all, it was only at an enormous distance, unattainable by the person I then was or could conceive of becoming. Nor did I believe that as a boy of 20 I peered into the depths of hell. I did not see the lake of fire as recorded in the Bible, he tells him. Okay, here's what he's trying to do. He's trying to ease his mind that he's no more special than, just because he saw this vision, he's not any more special than the patient who did not see the vision. But see, number one, in another book of his, he says, there's no fire and brimstone here. He does not believe, he makes it clear, he does not believe in a fire and brimstone burning hell. So, in his mind, there is no lake of fire. But see, Fred does not know this. Fred knows from his religious training, the patient's name is Fred. The patient knows from his religious training that all bad people go to the lake of fire in the end. So, he's telling his patient, I did not see this. So, to give the illusion to the patient that he did not see all there was to see. But he's telling a white lie according to what he believes. A half-white lie, whole truth. No shit. A half-white lie, half-truth, whole fucking lie. Here's another one. A patient's having to be admitted in the army. He's got pneumonia. He's waiting for a jeep to take him to the train so he can go start medical school. Well, he tells the doctor, I got a jeep. It's not an ambulance I'm waiting for, it's a jeep. The doctor says, that's right, just sit right there. Everything will be okay. You know, it is impossible to have a society that tells 100% whole truth that runs along smoothly without people's feelings being hurt and without, hey, would you tell a lie to a person if it would save his life? knowing that if you told him the truth he'd die? Yeah, you would. Yes, I would. Are you sinning against God when you do that? What would Jesus do? What would Jesus say? Okay, let's go to an example in the Bible. He just rose from the dead. They see him risen from the dead. They don't know it's him. Well, he doesn't tell them. He just starts telling them little about the Bible, how Jesus is supposed to suffer and rise from the dead. So they think they're talking to a stranger the whole time. Well, is he being deceptive by not coming out and saying, hey, I'm the resurrected Jesus? What would Jesus do? Maybe it is possible to tell a half white lie, half truth, and tell them the whole truth. That's the lesson for today. Enjoy. Wait a minute. Let's be fair. I have a confession to make. I'm using Psychiatrists Double speak to get my point across to you. George C. Ritchie told me over the telephone he did not write the book from which I was quoting from. The words were put in his mouth by Elizabeth Sherrill. But you did not know that, so I was able to use it as an example, telling you a half white lie, half truth, whole lie, to get my point across to you. Do you understand this? No. When Jesus rose from the dead, when he did not reveal who he was, right after he left them, they suddenly realized who he was. So sometimes it is possible to postpone telling the truth. And therefore, in the whole four-dimensional scheme of things, not three-dimensional, but four-dimensional, you are telling the whole truth. Even if in the three-dimensional scheme of things, at the time, you're telling a half white lie, half truth, whole lie. Do you get the fucking picture? God damn, this is a hostile cosmos. I wish God loved us all, eternally, unconditionally. But he fucking doesn't. He loves himself, eternally, unconditionally. And the rest of us are just fucking collateral damage. So fuck you and fuck him too, if that be true. You know, Jesus even hinted that he was going to do the same thing on Judgment Day. You know, the parable of the talents, the guy who received 5 talents goes out and gets 5 more. Jesus says, enter the joy of thy Lord. The guy who receives 2 goes out and gets 2 more. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. The guy who gets 1 says, Lord, I know you, that you reap where you do not sow, and gather where you do not straw. In other words, he's calling him a thief. It's like me going into another man's field and harvesting his grain and taking it for myself. But you know what the Lord says? You know, God is sinless. God does not steal. But see, this guy thinks he does. Well, Jesus, instead of correcting him, says, well, if you knew this, why didn't you put your 1 talent to the banker so I could have gotten interest? He uses that double speak to show the guy how evil and how ungodly he really was. If he was devoted to God and knew this, he would have made damn sure to make sure that his God got something extra out of that 1 little talent. His greedy God. So you see, even God uses this psychiatrist double speak.